Dr. Amen, when he came in, I was talking to him about all my concussions, I remember, and saying how much it was like at that time where I was like really struggling with my anxiety, and I always have. And I was really debating getting back on Lexapro. And he was like, before you do that, I would love you to come in and do a brain scan with me, because he was like, I think all your concussions really have impacted your brain.
Hello, hello, Heal Squad. It's going to be a great day. We are going to learn so much today because we are compiling all of our lessons from the last couple of years with Kelsey Meyer here. And we're going to share all of those lessons that Kelsey has learned on the show and applied, because today's her last day with us. Not officially all
Right.
the way. She's still with us, but in the day-to-day grind. Natasha's taking over the day-to-day grind. Kelsey will still be with RGF and still be a part of the team as always, but she's gonna go off to pursue her dreams, and they are still tugging at her. So she's going with the tug.
But I keep telling Maria, I'm like, I'm still going to be here every week, so you can't really get rid of me.
Well, you can't, because you also can't ditch Winnie.
Right.
Winnie her head is to the side right now, and she's not looking very happy.
She's not happy.
But friends, if you're new to the show, Kelsey's been producing the show for the last 3 years. And she has done an excellent job. She's been part of the family. And so I told her today, in honor of her last day, what I wanted was for her to share all of her takeaways from the last 3 years, what she's applied, how she's grown because of the lessons and because of the experts that we've had on this show. It's funny because at some point I want to do a book, and I told you I want to do a book of all of the takeaways for a long time, because it would be like the what are those, the dummies guides or the proof sheets or whatever you call those things to getting better in all areas. So I thought it would be great. So she's listed everything that she has learned, and we're going to share those in a minute. First, we'll start with a quote. Never make someone a priority when all you are to them is an option.
Ooh.
Well, that's an interesting quote.
Like, oh.
Natasha, that one's a little random, but we did say just pick something.
We did. That was on us.
If you're new to the show, welcome. This is what we do here every single day. We try to get better in all areas of life, especially health and wellness. And we bring in the best experts to help us do that. We also don't want to forget the executive producer in charge, Kevin Nagaro, is on the couch. We have not allowed him to speak yet. We are now going to give him the seat. He is inappropriate sometimes. So
from somebody, a wise older addict that I worked with in the carnival business. An ex-convict, said, the reason you go to your parents' funerals is to make sure the mother expletives are dead.
Okay. Thank you, Kevin. Beautiful.
What a great way to
actual
start the
quote,
show.
very powerful, very moving.
Very moving.
Always stayed with me. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, we are gonna jump right into this, but I will say, funny enough, I walked into studio today and Kelsey and I are wearing the same jeans.
So Maria and I are twinning.
Yeah, we're twinning.
Our jeans.
And we're just excited to kind of jump in. And I think, like I said, this is what we do here every single day. And I know that I give this show so much credit for my healing, my health, for saving me, because I would never have gotten that Prenuvo scan if I wasn't doing this show. So it did indeed save my life. And we've heard from so many members of our audience, the Heal Squad, that the show has changed them, helped them, transformed them, and some even saved them as well. So it's been really rewarding for both of us.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to have you share some of yours, and you have such a good memory. When Jeff left the show, I was nervous.
I
as you
remember.
because Jeff was so good at recalling.
Yes.
Jeff was our former producer. He was so good at recalling guests and what they said. And then all of a sudden, slowly you started, and I was like, "Oh, she's got it too." Okay,
That's right. Well, I remember you were like,
"No brain."
well, you were like, Kelsey, you gotta be like that. And I was like, all right, challenge accepted.
Yeah. Okay,
So it was fun doing this, Maria, because like I was telling you this morning, I still feel like as the days go on, I'm going to recall more things and be like, oh my gosh. But the thing about this show that's so beautiful is, and as I was writing this list, it's a mix of tangible things, tools, and like mental, just like habits, right? And so that's what I think is so cool. It's like whether it is relationship or it's success or it's like actually physically like this is going to help my health. Like it's such a well-rounded like list that I was like, oh my God, it was really powerful to do this exercise, and I'm very glad that we're doing this. So
well-rounded is the goal, right? So that's why we say it's a life improvement show with a heavy focus on health and wellness, because it is about being well-rounded. You can't have 3 wheels on the car. You need 4. So tires,
right?
Not wheels.
Yeah.
So, but we call them wheels, but I started thinking about the wheel. Anyway, you need to have a balance. And so that's why we do kind of balance out the show. Mr. Keven and Dr, you seem like you have something to add. We're going to go back to you on the couch. Please don't be inappropriate.
No, actually, I don't have anything to add.
Okay, wonderful. Then we're going to get right to Kelsey.
Okay,
Let's do it.
So my first thing I wrote was Deb Silverman and her astrology. Really did change my life. Like I have always loved astrology, but then I remember doing, and I was so lucky to be able, when I booked guests, I did pre-interviews with them. And oftentimes I got to do it with the guests. Sometimes I got to do it with their publicist, but I remember talking to Deborah and she was like, oh, you know astrology? And I was like, yeah, I read my friends' charts. And she was like, you know nothing, take my school. And I was like, okay. So then I started taking her school and I'm obsessed with it. And it's like really helped me in my life. It's given me tools and like helped me see things about myself that have like really opened my eyes or like show me places I need to work on. And so that was my first thing. And
she helped me so much too. I'm going to throw this in because when she explained that I'm all water.
Well, you're water and air. Yeah.
But I'm mostly water, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to always text you for that.
I
I'm mostly water and air and I don't have earth. And she explained what an earth person is. An earth person is someone who's very organized. They're like the spreadsheet queen or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so not me. But I then started looking at people to pull into our work environment that had more earth. Natasha, you have earth.
I do not have
She does not a lot.
None? No, she had some.
A little bit.
But environment has made me
true.
OCD.
Okay.
Fair.
So you have forced earth into your life.
Yeah.
Keven, I don't remember if
Kevin has a little
earth,
bit.
but he's forced earth into his chart too, and he's amazing at it.
Yeah.
I have none.
And
I've tried to force, and I'm not good at it.
Same girl.
No, you've been better than me. You're better than me.
And what are the
I see you with the slack and the.
So earth signs, like Maria was saying,
Earth
are very organized, they're like the GSD, the get shit done. They're
I'm
very
a get shit done person, but I'm not organized about
your
it.
brain. It's like that air sign. It's more like you're very like you're Gemini. It's like you're all communication, like the really like journalism. Like that is like you're amazing at questions, and you don't get shit done as like efficiently though. And neither do I. Like, that's what Kevin always says to us. He's like, you guys, like, you'll have 72 notebooks, 72
73.
lists. Like, right. Where an earth person is going to be more like OCD about, they have one list, they're checking it off, typically.
But what I love about it is it made me realize, first of all, it made me understand myself better and have empathy and understanding and not think that there was something wrong with me. I was like, okay, this is just who I am. And I can work on it. Doesn't mean that I'm just going to become victim to it, but I am going to look to hire people that have the opposite qualities and the opposite energies to help balance out our office. And so you saw every time I was like, how much earth do they have in their chart? Every time I interview someone, and now I'm looking for an assistant. I almost hired someone on the spot yesterday at lunch. I had ordered lunch and this woman was in there. She was a little older. And she had gotten a big food order and she had a list. And then she checked every item to make sure it had the proper order. And I go, wow, I wish I had someone like you on my team. And she's like, oh, thank you. She's like, I go, you check everything. Anyway, it was really funny.
I love that.
But yeah, so the astrology thing was really great
Yeah.
and really helpful for me too. And if you haven't listened to that episode, it's a great episode. We've had a couple with her, Deb Silverman.
Yeah. So that was the first thing. And then
And you took her course.
I took her course.
And now you're side hustling people's astrology.
I am. So I haven't, like, it's funny because it's kind of one of those things that I think if I pushed it more, I could really do it. I haven't really pushed it, but I've done a couple people's charts, and the more and more people who like DM me and text me, I'm like, guys, this takes me a long time. Like, I had to get the courage to be like, I'm going to have to charge because like it does take me a long time. So I've now done a couple of paid ones, which is really fun. And I love it. It really makes me happy. So yeah, that was my first thing. I was like, I really feel like it's changed my life. My next two things are Maria-isms and Keven-isms. My Maria-isms, I feel like I'm so grateful that I was with you for so many reasons, but especially like during the part of my life that I was, like, you honestly really taught me how much you have to advocate for yourself, especially like in the health sense. And I just remember going through all my stomach stuff and like just taking, answers from doctors and so many different ones, and nothing was working and nothing was helping, and it was just getting worse. And you were like, you have to advocate for yourself. And like, I really am so grateful. I wrote, advocate for yourself, especially when it comes to health, and really be the CEO of your own health. And like, it's the most important thing. And I really think you've taught me that. And I'm truly like so incredibly grateful.
Thanks.
I really am.
Well, I think for people who might be in a similar situation, what I saw with you is you just would listen to anybody. Literally anybody that would come your way. You were like, oh, okay, I'll do that. And you would buy the supplement, buy the thing, do the thing, whatever. And it was just too much.
Yeah.
And when I say advocate for yourself, it really is take control, take charge, and know that it's okay for you to scrutinize, not criticize, but scrutinize and wonder and question and say, I don't think they are right, actually. I tuned in and I feel like maybe they're not so right. And I'm going to go in a different direction. Or you have to be the CEO of your health. So really, when you're the CEO, you're going to take everyone's advice, you're going to take everyone's opinions, and you're going to look into their credentials, and then you're going to sit with it and say, what feels right for me and my body, and what am I capable of doing? If you're not someone who's going to take supplements, don't go buy all the supplements because you're not going to take them. Right. Or, I'm sure there are a million other examples I could get into, but I think I'll leave that there. But then once you started taking control of it and realizing there is not one person who really has all the answers, you can find someone like a Dr. Alison who has a lot of them and can guide you, and then stick there. And then you can ask for other things, but you ask her. You have one kind of funnel.
Yes.
So you don't have 50 funnels and nobody's talking to each other. That's the hard thing with Western medicine that's so frustrating is you have a primary care. They funnel you out to all these experts. No one's communicating. So now you're on meds for this person, meds for that person, meds from this person. And now all of a sudden you have a liver issue because nobody was communicating. That has happened to me before.
Well, and that was the other thing too, with all of this. It's like you really taught me that I have to, it's like write everything down. Like write down what you're taking, write down your symptoms, bring them into the office. Like I remember being so, up until honestly that stomach situation and you helping me with that, I felt like I was like slapped in the face every time I went to the doctors. And then I would leave and be like, damn, I didn't even get to ask them why, like anything that I wanted to ask them, because either I forgot or I got nervous because they come in so hot and then they have 2 seconds with you and then you're like, bye. So, really like I keep a note in my phone now, and it's like every time anything comes up and I'm like, no, hold on. I have this I want to talk to you about, this I want to talk to you about. So that's honestly changed my life, like when it comes to health. And I'm so grateful.
How is your stomach now?
It's better. It's, it's funny. I'm like, it really is a lot better. The only time I notice it getting worked up is when I get worked up. It's so emotional now. I think I've really cleared out a lot of the bacteria and all the like
overgrowth.
Exactly.
The SIBO stuff.
Yeah, the SIBO stuff.
Past.
Exactly.
That was a miracle.
I mean, it literally, I still can't believe
because you don't have a bowling ball anymore.
No, I had a literal bowling ball and doctors were like, yeah, I think you're okay. I'm like, what? I mean, both of you were I remember Kevin was like, get freaking mad. And yeah, so thank God that's over. But yeah, now I think it's definitely the emotional. When I get stressed, it's all stomach stuff. But we're working on that.
Working on it.
That's a work in progress. My other Maria-ism that I really think about a lot is actually something that you talk about learning from Dr. Joe, and it's like the glass analogy.
Oh, I have to remember that again. I'm so glad you're bringing it up. See, this is great for all of us to remember, guys.
It's the best. It's the best. Like how we have a glass, right? And like that's our energy reserve. And it's like, okay, so what are you pouring that into? And I don't know why.
Or how are you using it?
Yep. And it really has changed my life.
So much energy in the day. Here's your energy cup. How do you want to use it? Do you want to use it stressing, worrying, fear, all of that? Or do you want to create and be joyful? And
it's amazing. And I think about it with friends and relationships too, right? I'm like, oh, well, if I'm going to give so much to them, or like, then I'm going to have no room for anybody new to come in. So I'm obsessed with that analogy. Thank you very much.
As long as you give some of it toward likes and being popular.
Oh, of course.
Gossip.
That's a given.
Other things, you know, you got to leave enough in the cup for that.
Right. And that goes to my Keven-ism.
And now the darkness corner has come back in.
Right.
What darkness?
Honey.
My Keven-ism.
I go to the funerals to make
fun
sure they're
corner.
dead.
Yeah. Okay. The fun corner.
Dark corner.
Comedy must rule is my Keven-ism.
That is the best.
But it's so true.
We apply it in everything. Every time something horrible is happening, you saw me with my mom. We were cracking the craziest jokes to get through everything.
But it helps so much. Like laughter. I mean, even if I'm in a bad mood, I put on whatever it is. Like I'll watch an SNL video and it's just like giggling. You're like, oh, damn. So that has really like helped me so much. And then PYE, protect your energy.
That's a Yogi Cameron-ism.
Hey.
Yeah.
What's my other Kev-ism? Less is better. Less is more. The minimalist point of view, which now every time I walk into my apartment, which is small, I'm like, oh, I want less.
But see, you're so ahead.
Yeah, I know. Which is so grateful.
Ahead. I feel like you were our kid.
I know.
that we got to like practice on.
Yeah.
And like just throw everything at you, and you grabbed so much of it. It was fun to watch.
One of the biggest differences between you and most of the other people from your generation is you actually do one thing better than all of them. By the way, it's the one thing that people say when I'm coaching young people about their careers, even older people. They'll say, okay, so what's the one thing, if there's just one takeaway, what's the one thing I need to do? And I'll say, listen, that's all. Like I just gave you the map. Listen, but you do listen, Kelsey, and most of us, I didn't at your age. So the fact that Maria did at your age, but that's why she's Maria. And the fact that you do listen is amazing. Even when I was buying the flowers, it's funny. They had all these big giant displays and I'm like, I don't think she wants that anymore. She's going to want something that would look beautiful for it now.
Yeah.
But not something she's
got my staple flowers. These are my favorite flowers.
I love them.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to, but again, I was knowing that you've changed when we first met. I was going to a Target. I couldn't get you out because I need this, I need this, I need this. And by the way, I have the same affliction.
Oh so funny. I'm having flashbacks of
you and I grocery shopping.
Like, I need this and I need this. I'm like,
yep.
No, you don't.
Yep.
Or we'd be at TJ Maxx. And I'd be like,
I would come back with an entire cart full of just like water bottles.
Knickknacks. I'm like, you don't need this. I'd be pulling everything out. And then she got to the place where she was like, okay, I'd like to purchase these foods. What do you think? I'm like, no, not these. And then she'd be like, what about these? Yeah, you don't have any like these. These are sanctioned. So I would sanction her purchases.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I'm like, if you like, I am grateful to have people like you who are willing to help. And like, I'm like, look where you guys are. I'm like, heck yeah, I'll take advice from you. So I'm grateful that you guys gave it to me. I'm like, I just, it's silly to me that people wouldn't listen. So so thank you for saying that.
I think most young people.
Yeah.
They're all like that, some more than others, but I notice the ones who are more successful that have the older souls will listen and be like, hey, you're an older person. You clearly have made the mistakes.
Yeah.
I don't need to make
fast track me. Yeah.
Right. So.
All right. Let's see what else. Oh, this was a good one. This was a throwback one, but Dr. Amen, when he came in, I was talking to him about all my concussions. I remember. And saying how much it was like at that time where I was like really struggling with my anxiety. And I always have. And I was really debating getting back on Lexapro. And he was like, before you do that, I would love you to come in and do a brain scan with me because he was like, I think all your concussions really have impacted your brain and the lack of blood flow going to certain parts of your brain. So first of all, I'm like, thank you to him for giving me that. It was like the most incredible experience. I learned so much. And it was like the one huge thing I learned too. I've always known I had ADHD, but it was like never diagnosed. And it was like he could see it on that scan. And so he just gave me a couple supplements that helped with that.
What were the supplements?
I forget the exact name.
Was it the focus one? He has a focus one.
He has like a brain memory one with his brain MD line. And it helped so much. It has like a lion's mane in it, which is an adaptogen. So all these natural things that he was teaching me, you know, things like Lexapro, and I don't think it's bad at all, but those sort of medications block versus his supplements and like psychedelics and stuff, they actually like create new pathways, right? And like create more blood flow and that sort of thing. So it's like
healing
rather versus
than band-aiding.
Exactly. So that was like game changing for me. And also just he was able to see in my brain too. He was like, you tend to go, it's like you would think from knowing you that you're a glass half full person, like you're definitely not. You tend to go to the negative, which I was like, whoa. Like he could see that in my brain. And so now I'm able, it's so crazy. So I'm able to catch that now and use some of his tools, right? Like you said, it's like, is this actually true? So yeah, that was one of my, and I have two, his natural antidepressants. The other thing, sniffing the lavender oil.
I do that still every night.
Every night, me too. It's the best. And then Dr. Alison talked about this too, but getting out in sunshine and nature. He talked about how healing that is for if you have depression and anxiety. And I just love that. I really think that like a lot of people do need medication, but like if there are natural ways to help and support you, and I'd rather try that first. So I was so grateful for that.
Me too.
That was fun. Okay, Dr. Gabor. I wrote Dr. Gabor Matte and every other guest ever. To heal, we need to heal emotions and trauma. Emotions make us sick. But
Dr. Will Cole just said that on our show too.
Yep. Literally every single guest ever. But for some reason, Gabor's really resonated with me. And I think maybe because we have a lot of these people, or we have had a lot of these people on that are, you know, functional medicine doctors, or they're naturopaths, or they're like more that like woo-woo-esque. And Gabor, I think because he like, what was he, triple board certified, like this massive, and not that these other doctors aren't well respected, but he very much is. And him coming out and being like, yeah, no, literally point A to point B, emotions affect like your health. And that really, really hit me. And he talked about too, how like your emotional, when you like get stressed or like you rev, that it actually directly impacts your like inflammation and like your body. Anyway, it was just like the way that he used science to explain everything. I was just like, wow. Yeah. So
Dr. Gabor Matte, I remember having a lot of breakthroughs with him too. It's another episode to look up.
Yeah, that one was really beautiful.
I still don't think enough can be said about emotions making you sick. I still go back and forth with Maria about this. How many episodes we've done of this show, and I have to remind Maria, you know, you can.
It's not just the food. It's not just what you're drinking.
You can do the circadian rhythm of,
green juice.
You can ground, you can green juice, you can cut out, do all those things. But if I'm a believer that if your emotions, if you're suffering emotionally, you're just going to buy another 3 to 5 years, but eventually it's going to catch up to you. Yeah. I really think I'd love to see, obviously want to see people eat well, exercise, move, and all those things, but emotions. And I always think about it too, right? Where I think it was Nicole Sachs, Kev, that you and I did in Connecticut. And she was like, think about it. Every time you get like really worked up, immediately you have a headache. Immediately. And it's like, that's your body, like literally, like that's the first sign. Like, I don't know. Or for me, stomach.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, it's so.
Or your
you
heart
grind
races.
your teeth.
Grind your teeth. Yeah.
Yeah. I always have to stretch everything.
I'll get like super tight up in my like upper jaw here, and I'm like, oh, okay, hi. So yeah, that was an amazing episode. I combined the glucose goddess and Alissi Vitti because I feel like a lot of their stuff meshed with me. Alisa really taught me the no coffee on an empty stomach because I used to do that all the time.
And how crazy that disrupts your endocrine system. how much damage it does to your everything.
Beyond. And I have
to have it on a full stomach, and your green tea, same thing.
Yep. Anything caffeinated. And I have to say, it's so funny. We've had a couple episodes now with Elisa, but when I was at Extra, I had really bad PCOS, and it was kind of a similar thing of like, no one could help me. And I found Alissi Vitti and I found her book. And so when Jeff booked her, when we were in Connecticut, it was one of my first shows ever. And I was like, oh,
you were freaking out.
God, I was freaking out. And then you, being the angel you are, like got me with her, and I got to do a session with her. And I was literally, I still am giddy. Like, it's so cool. Like, it was so amazing. And I'm so grateful. And I'm also so grateful that like these people are like using their platforms to talk about this kind of stuff, you know, because her whole story was every doctor told her she was crazy too. And she was like, well, okay, cool. I'm not. So, and now she's helped so many people. So
yeah, Lisa's changed me in so many ways.
So many ways.
Even every morning, I start with my greens.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
First thing I eat is greens. Then I layer in the protein and the fat. And then I layer in any carbs, because that is the way that your endocrine system will be happy, because it gives your body a chance to identify what's coming down the track, provide the amount of insulin that you need. Mm-hmm. And in my case, I'm exogenously putting in insulin, but it still makes my system happy. And so I remember that's like one big thing that I've made an adjustment since Lisa.
I feel like, and I wonder how you feel, like I get brain fog pretty badly. And I feel like ever since doing that, I don't get brain fog.
Oh, wow.
Like,
really?
Yes.
So you have been applying the greens
Oh my
first.
gosh. Yeah. I have in here too. Cause I know it was Elisa said it. And then I remember talking to you and you're like, why aren't you just doing it?
Yeah.
And then honestly, ever since then, I've done it. And I
no, because I came in, I think, to the office and you were eating your sandwich.
Yeah.
I'm like, she keeps doing the same things and expecting different results.
Yep.
And it's the Dr. Joe thing, you know, it's you got to change your patterns and your behaviors. And the fact that she had just taught us this, and I had seen a huge difference for myself. I was like, you have the discipline, do it.
Do it. And it's honestly changed my life. So the no coffee on an empty stomach, the eating in that order. And then also,
how has that made a difference? I'm curious, because I didn't realize that you had actually applied
in the order.
Yeah, because we've been so busy lately. And
so I really do feel like it's the lack of brain fog. Like and I think Jessie Inchape, who's Glucose Goddess, she explained it because she talks about the same thing, eating in that order. It's like we get such, it's like a spike. It's a spike in our glucose, right? Mm-hmm. When we don't eat in that order, our body doesn't digest it properly. That all shoots for me, it like shot to my head and I couldn't think. And it was,
and then you crash.
Yes.
And then you have to have something because you crash. You have another muffin or something.
Exactly.
And then you go up high and then you crash. Yep. And then it's that never ending cycle of
vicious cycle,
chasing pain.
Yep. Or like I would get home at the end of the day and I would always really crave, sugar or sweet or whatever, or that like 4:00 time. And honestly, since doing that, I really haven't. And then the other thing Jessie taught us too is like, she was like, if you want a sweet, have it, but just have it at the end of your greens, protein, fat, starch, and then have like a little sugar. But usually by the end, you don't really want it.
Yeah.
Because you're full if you ate enough. So
that was another thing she taught us is if you've eaten your meal and in 2 to 3 hours, you still are hungry, then you didn't eat enough protein.
Yep.
So I've applied that and that's been a game changer. Yep. So like last night I had dinner and I don't think I had enough protein and I was craving a protein bar. So I ate a protein bar and I never do that.
Yep.
But I needed it after. So I've been adding the hemp hearts that she suggested.
The best.
If you guys aren't doing hemp hearts, get some right away. I add it to the salad. It's like this nice texture in my salad. Mm-hmm. It's all protein and omega-3s. It's so good for you.
Yep.
And I've been loving it.
I add them too. I learned this from you, was doing olive oil and apple cider vinegar, like making that dressing. And then I add the hemp hearts, doing a little shaker. It's so yummy.
Oh, cute.
So I add it to the dressing. It makes it almost like thicker.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Wow.
So then I also wrote the protein thing too. And I've been making sure, I used to eat a pretty small breakfast. And now I've been making sure to get enough protein and
start your day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's made me feel so much better. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Just like little tweaks. And also like, I think too, coming from like the eating disorder world, it was like, I was always so scared. Like I was like, oh no, 1 egg is fine. Like 1 egg is fine. But then I would always like binge or be hungrier later. Yeah. And learning that from her, I'm like, Kelsey, do 2 eggs and then I feel so much better. And I actually like end up having less crap.
Yeah.
So it's, that like really, the other thing too with her, I'm really aware if I ever do, pop a cookie or whatever into my mouth, close on your carbs, she talked about. So I always make sure to have like a handful of walnuts if I do it too, or like.
Oh, I forgot that one.
What is it?
Game changing.
Close on your carbs.
Close on your carbs.
So if you eat something sugary, it's okay. Just add some carbs to the end of it.
No, add some fats or protein.
Fats or protein, sorry.
Yeah.
So the carbs are the sugars.
Right.
If you eat anything high carb, high sugar, add your protein at the end, and that helps balance it. I forgot that
It
one.
won't spike as high. So you have like a spoonful of Greek yogurt, you have a handful of walnuts, like you have half a protein bar.
Avocado.
Exactly. It helps so much.
Yeah, I'm glad you just remembered.
Helps so much. And then also, and I know you've been doing this, Maria, with your diabetes, but the movement after, if you have a big meal or something that you just feel, oof, like I always make sure, and she said 10 minutes, you just need 10 minutes of movement and that reduces your spike.
Yep.
Amazing.
If you guys are watching this on YouTube and this is helping you, share a comment below so that we can see what you guys love the most. Go ahead, Kels.
My other one that I've been doing religiously, this was Alissi Vitti, cilantro for clear skin and a good liver.
I forgot about that.
I've been adding it every morning. I do like a little egg wrap. So I do my greens before, but then I do my egg wrap and I put some cilantro on it. It's amazing.
Okay.
And I really feel like it's helped my skin. Like my skin looks great. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
looks great.
cool.
Maybe it has worked.
Yeah.
Cilantro for clear skin and digestion, you said?
So it helps detoxify your liver. That's what cilantro is good for. So she said you really need like a fourth a cup, like nothing. So I add it to salads. I add it to my little wraps. And I'm not one of those people who think it tastes like soap. Wasn't your mom one?
My mom.
Yeah.
My mom. Anytime we'd get Mexican, no cilantro. I hate cilantro.
So
and I'd be like,
have that.
every time she said it, I go, Mom, I know. Trust me. Because just the way she said it was so embedded into my head.
Yep.
I hate cilantro.
Hilarious. So I'm lucky I don't have that. So I
Yeah.
do cilantro. What are my other? Oh, this one, we're going into the relationship category. We've had so many insane episodes with Mark Groves. Like he's very much changed my life.
He's great.
Oh my gosh, like in the relationship realm. And it was hard to kind of break it down to just one thing. But I think do you remember the first episode we ever had with him? And he like went in on me. And I was so,
Oh, yeah.
remember that?
Yeah.
And he was just telling me basically how all of my relationships or the emotionally unavailable people I seek now just stem from my issues with my dad. And I think that like I knew that, but it was the way that he said it and the way that he was just like, you guys, if you didn't get enough love or you didn't get enough of something as a child, you will seek it in relationships until you heal that. And I don't know why. I've never thought of it in the relationship aspect, and it changed my life. So I'm like and I think we always talk about, awareness is you're halfway there, made me very aware.
So what did you do differently since?
I think that like if I ever find myself, for me, I know it triggers when, and he talks about this too, you have different relationship like attachment styles. I tend to go more anxious. So if my anxious attachment is ever like triggered, it's usually coming from like a trauma or a wound or something like that. He taught us that. And so I'm very aware of it now.
So wait, what does that mean? Like when you meet a guy?
Yeah. So it means like, what makes me anxious? So if there's someone I really like and they're an emotionally unavailable person, they'll do the game of like, oh, I'm going to text you. And then I won't respond for 24 hours. And then I'll respond right away. And then I'll leave it on red. And that just this like the back and forth of like pulling
Keeping you on eggshells.
Exactly. And someone who's secure will be like, fuck you. Me, I'm like, like it literally makes me want to die, especially if I like the person. And so knowing that, I was like, oh my God, this is coming from my dad did that. And not intentionally, but like he was never there when we were growing up, and he would give us a little bit and he'd be like, yay. And then he would pull back. And so I think Mark really helped me understand where a lot of those issues that I have now within relationships like come from.
So now how have you made changes?
I've really worked on it in therapy. And like I said, I think being just aware of it, I'm able to see, and also like having both of you, Kevin and I talk about my relationship problems all the time on RGF.
Yeah.
But like, I think I'm just trying not to go for those people or be it's hard not to be attracted to them, but like those emotionally unavailable people, I try to understand that, oh, that's not good for me.
Yeah. Or at least you're aware when they're pulling those games, that they're
Yeah.
pulling the games, so you
Yeah.
can at least talk to yourself
Yeah.
and say, okay, we're good.
Yeah. Or usually I still get butthurt and upset. And then Kevin's like, oh my God, and gets me right back into my good space.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was my Mark Groves. Oh, and then Dr. Laura, this was actually from you, Kev, but like the whole Ascension Syndrome. And that's a really cool episode. You guys should listen to that. And for me, what I took away from that is just like when you're ascending and when you're growing, and you talk about this all the time too, Maria, like it's painful. It's super freaking uncomfortable. Like to the point of where Dr. Laura was talking about like the symptoms you get. And I was like, wow. So I don't know, that really changed my life, I think, because I think so often we're like, oh, this sucks or this is harder. And then we kind of give up, and knowing that, like,
and then you blame everybody else. That's what we've always talked about. I'm like, don't blame everyone else. You are in your growth spurt. It's like the caterpillar coming out to be a butterfly. It sucks. It's painful. You got to just go through it. And if you go through it, you'll get to the other side. You get to the other side, you're going to have a brief break, guys. It's going to be awesome. You're like, yeah, whew, I made it. And then you're going to start growing again. And then you're going to have to break out of that shell, and it's going to be so hard again. So I always have said, like, in your periods of like challenge, you're growing, stick with it, hang in. It's the people who don't hang in that quit and blame it on everyone else that don't go on to succeed. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's so many points in my life and in my career where anybody else would have quit. And maybe it was a little insane in a few situations, but I had no choice. I had to take care of my family. So I had to hang in. But it made me beyond strong. There were so many things that I did get from it, but you gotta hang in life, and you gotta know that those periods where you're so uncomfortable, it's like, you gotta kind of take stock and be like, okay, there's something here. There's a challenge that I have to rise. And if you rise, you'll be grateful later.
And it's so cool when like you're aware of it. You're like, you can look back and be like, look what I just did. Like, look how cool. Okay, Winnie.
Yeah, like how many times did you have to do things you had never done here?
So many. But I look back now and I'm like, oh my God. Even the other day I was thinking about, merch and like how much.
I was just thinking about merch.
But how cool.
Yeah.
Look at us.
And by the way, friends, we had a little glitch with our merch, which means I paid for all of the merch for everybody.
She did.
Accidentally, that when you guys purchased, it charged me.
Yeah.
So we're still asking everyone to
I'm glad you said this,
PayPal back. Winnie, you didn't.
Winnie, you didn't buy merch.
You didn't buy any merch. But a lot of you have been getting back to us and paying for the items. We'd be so grateful for the rest of you. You might not have noticed what the email was. I'm sure Natasha will do another round.
And I did send one the other week. So I know
a couple people came through.
Yeah, because I was
got like 3.
Good. Oh, thank God. Because I know a lot of people were like, is this fraud? It's not fraud. It actually happened.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
It was fraud on me.
Yeah, it was fraud on Maria. Yeah. So I'm glad you said
I was laughing because I'm like, wait, we worked so hard on this merch.
I know.
It was so hard. And then I ended up paying for it all too.
Surprise!
Because I kept getting charged, and Kelsey's like, no, it charges you, and then and then they reimburse you, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. And when I said it didn't make sense, that's when you went to Priscilla on the website, and then there was like, oh yeah, it doesn't make sense. There's something.
But it's annoying because like it is. That's what I was told. Like it does do that. It still charges you, but you weren't getting the actual.
Yeah, I wasn't getting the return. Anyway, but on the other note, building that, doing all of that is so hard and so out of, and building the payment stuff and all of that. There was so many things outside of your comfort zone, but also learning all the tech on the show and all the things that you've had to learn along the way. You had to rise above what you thought was something that you could do.
But it's so cool. It's like made me so much more well-rounded, and like, how cool. I look back and I'm like, oh, I actually technically produced that. That is not my genius. And I freaking killed it. And I'm so grateful. So
that's what I always say to everybody who comes and works with us. I'm like, you're going to become so well-rounded. You're going to learn so much, and we'll train you, and you'll be a ninja. We're always like, you'll be a ninja. You'll be able to leave here and do anything you want. But you got to hang.
Yeah. No, it's true though.
Because it's not easy.
You got to hang through the hard. No. And it's worth it when you do.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's a good one. And
Chenza's really being a bad girl. She's being naughty.
I think she wants to hang out with you.
Winnie, do you want to come to your mama?
Vincenza?
Do you want to come to mommy?
Yes, she is.
Guys, if you see her, she's like a little doe. She's so cute. Okay,
She
go ahead,
looks like-
Kels.
This one, I don't know if you're still doing, Maria, but ever since I heard this Alyssa Goodman episode, the pinch of pink Himalayan salt first thing in the morning.
I forgot it.
It
You know why? Because
changes
they do
my life.
Quintons now.
What's that?
The Quintons are the hydration things that Dr. Allison put me on. But I'm going to add a little Himalayan
Do it.
salt.
Just
I
a
forgot
little-
about that.
Yeah,
I'll
but those are hard to come by. They're expensive. They're in these glass tubes. Pink Himalayan salt, great.
So cheap.
Great for the regular people
Yeah.
like me.
Thank you, Kevin Undergaro
Thank
from
you,
the couch.
Kevin.
Going a little lighter from the darkness to the light.
But it's
Thank
so
you.
true because I love the Ultima electrolytes as well
Mhm.
that she recommends. But those are also kind of pricey. Like they're not crazy, and I think if you're a really, really hard athlete or whatever, like you need those electrolytes. They don't have sugar. They're amazing. But pink Himalayan
Yeah.
salt, so cheap, a little pinch. She does the lemon too, which I haven't stuck with. But the pink Himalayan salt every morning.
When you come here for RGFs, just pick your lemons.
I will. So that's changed my life. Dr. Allison and Dr. Lipman, who thank you to both of them as well, who have helped me so much with my stomach stuff. And I put them together because both of them talk. And it was funny because I went back and listened to one of our Dr. Lipman episodes, Kev, that we did with him. And he always had told me to get up in the morning and go outside. And I was like, if only I would listen to people. Because then
Hard, you can't listen to everything.
yeah.
You can, but you're not going to listen to everything. And also, someone is going to reach you differently than the other person.
Right.
So if someone doesn't connect the dots for you and tell you why, and even if they tell you why, if it doesn't hit you in the right moment, you can't feel bad, because I've had Kevin tell me a million things a million times, and then I go to Tony Robbins and it clicks, or
Right,
Dr. Joe and it clicks.
Right.
So you can't beat yourself up about that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Because I was like, son of a gun. But now I have been better at it. And Maria and I had a nice chat the other week because I got off of it and I'm going to get back on it because I've been noticing I haven't been sleeping as well because I'm not getting my daylight or my sunlight, especially in the morning.
That's huge. For me,
Massive.
we've been for months waking up at sunrise.
Yeah.
We go outside as a family, don't we, Vincenza? And we get the light. So it's like, let's go get the morning light, kids. And
Yeah.
we go out. We're out for at least 15 minutes getting the sunlight, whether it's cloudy and it's coming through the clouds and we just don't see it, whatever. We're getting that morning light. We're telling our bodies what time it is and setting the circadian rhythm. And then throughout the day, getting light on your eyes, and then making sure you eat before dark,
Mm-hmm.
and then making sure you see that dark light. Sometimes because there's so many lights on outside, I have to like create binoculars to break away the lights and just see the dark sky. But and then we go to bed. Last night we were in bed, what, 8:30, 9?
No, 9:15, but still.
9:15.
Wow. That's so good though.
And it's just so much better.
Great segue to talk 90 Day Fiance.
Honey.
No, and the matchmaker
Matchmaker.
abroad. I am telling
So
you,
good.
So
people,
good.
powerful.
Okay, Chenza wants to come to her mother. Oops.
Sorry, Winnie.
Chenza got punched in the face by the
Sorry, Kevin. Carry on about your matchmaker
Oh,
abroad.
that's for another show.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
for
okay,
another show.
okay.
But it is life-changing to wake up, guys. And I rebelled against waking up early because
Yeah.
I had to wake up early to clean nightclubs, to work at Dunkin' Donuts, to do my shows
your
at
shows.
8 on MTV and all of that. I always had to be up either at work at 5 or up by 5.
Yeah.
And so when I could sleep, I wanted to sleep, but it never felt good.
Mm.
You always feel groggy when you sleep in later. So when you wake up and you get that fresh light and you start the day, my favorite times are when I was driving into work at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. and no one's on the road and there's just a little bit of sunlight coming down.
Yeah.
You feel so good. There's so much peace at that hour. So I get up now and I do my full routines and I get my supplements in, and I'll do my meditation in the morning. So now I feel like I'm starting my day right. And then if I want to, do some emailing at breakfast, I can. Winnie, are you
She wants it to be about her, actually.
She has to potty.
cleaning your vagina with her mouth? That's
I think
gross.
she has to potty.
She
Uh-oh.
potty before she came in.
I think she has to potty again.
No, she's okay. But she'll just keep sucking her vagina on
Yeah.
my lap. Sorry, friends, for the gory
Oh
details.
my God. But it's true. I think, the
Yeah.
sunlight is game changing, especially if you are someone who like has issues sleeping,
Mhm.
which like I said, I usually am that person. But when I was getting my sunlight, I didn't have any issues. And now I'm having issues again. And I'm like,
Yeah.
because you're not getting your daylight.
You will be freed, all of you, in such a way, and your health will get better. And you will feel so much happier. I'm telling you, as somebody who never, ever thought it would feel good, it feels so good
Yeah.
to wake up at sunrise and be outside and to start my day like that. And I get everything in I want to get in.
Right.
I never got it before. People would be up at 5 working out. I'm like, oh God. Now that still seems like tough for me. I don't know if I want to wake up at 5 and work out, but
Well, Alissi Vitti did teach us that for women, it's not that good to do that. We don't feel good. Our cortisol, it doesn't work for us. For men, it works. But go back and listen to all her
thank you for
episodes.
that little tip.
You're welcome.
Okay, carry on.
Okay. Oh, blue blockers. I would like to say Maria made fun of me for so long.
So long. I thought it was a gimmick. I really did. And now if I don't use them,
You
I
get
can
headaches.
feel my head.
Yeah.
I get tired. I see the difference from when I did and didn't use them and now when I use them. So yeah, I did admittedly make fun of you. I did think it was a gimmick and something just, it's about consumerism in this world. It's all about creating a product for people to
Totally.
buy. And so I thought that was it. And when Dr. Alison told me I really needed to do it for my health, I was like, okay.
And you know what?
So-
I think too, the red
Full
blockers?
spectrum ones at night.
Those are game changing to me. I do notice a difference as well with the daytime ones, but the full red block at night, if I ever want to
Mhm.
watch like a Ted Lasso or something, I won't watch unless I'm wearing those.
Me too.
Game changing.
Yep.
And those block 100% of the blue light so you can go to
So
sleep.
your body can continue producing melatonin,
Yeah.
friends. The whole goal is at some point in the day, the light changes all day long.
Mhm.
So there's like different spectrums all day long. And then that's why you want to eat before sundown. You want all your processes to be done because your melatonin starts producing later in the day. And then you want your body to go to sleep.
Right.
So you have to eat before sundown so that your body can digest it. And then your body's going to continue producing melatonin and put you to sleep.
Yep. And it
So,
helps.
Blue blockers and the full blockers help.
That's right. Gabby Piccarelli castor oil. I haven't done it in a minute because I haven't really needed to, but I'm going to go back to it. She taught us, and she's another one who I'm so grateful for. She helped me so much with my stomach stuff. And she was with you, Maria. Both you two were like, God, so many supplements. Like your body cannot even take it all. I had charts on charts. So grateful. And she told me you get castor oil and then you get you can order it on Amazon, but it's called a castor oil pack. And you put it on your stomach and the way that it absorbs, it's so just yummy for your stomach. And it really would help. It helps settle your stomach. If you have an upset stomach, it helped with my SIBO. It was really just calming and nice for my stomach. So
And you can also rub it on and put a heating pad on as well.
yes. Yep.
And
Okay.
supposedly
You did it too.
absorbs. Yep.
Yeah. So big castor oil fan. Karina Dawn, throwback to our frozen cauliflower
Oh, yeah.
in the smoothies.
Yep. Yep.
So she came on and she taught us that, if you want something if you want a creamy smoothie, but you don't always want to use banana
Or a lot of yogurt.
exactly, do frozen cauliflower and you won't taste it. Both Maria and I were like, get out of
Ew.
here.
Ew.
And then we did it in Connecticut.
Yep.
And I still use it if I make smoothies to this day.
So
It's
good.
amazing.
A lot of vitamin K.
So good for you. Greg Braden, and then actually Jessica Alba talked about this last week too, checking in with your heart. And I do that a lot. Greg talked a lot about that brain heart coherence, which I'm not going to try to explain. You should go listen to the episode. But basically, he talks about coming from love and checking in with your heart. So if ever I am spiraling, which happens, admittedly more than I still would like it to, I try to catch myself and I will check in with my heart and kind of be like, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we spiraling? And that's helped me a lot.
It's great.
So thank you, Greg. This one was good. Honestly, you two, we've been talking about me moving for a minute and moving into my own place. But Jenna Zoe, the human design girl, when I did my human design chart and it said that my environment, my happy place were caves, I literally was like, that's it. I have to move. So everyone in their chart has an environment. Like my sister's is like, she likes being in nature and she likes being around people. Mine is caves. You get to choose who's in your space. And I was like, I've never had that in my entire life. In my how old was I then? 26? In 26 years, I had never had that. And so
because you're a kid and you're living with your parents.
But then my last, like, you know.
And then you can't live alone because you can't afford to live alone.
True.
Yeah, but then when we checked
you're making it sound like it's such a weird thing, but it's not weird.
But I
no, but for some people it is, Maria, because you know, we're not polar bears. We want companionship.
Right.
But when she went to her regular guide chart, when she consulted me, you know, without looking at those astrological charts, I went to the regular guide chart, and I was like, you need to be out on your own. You vibrated at different, you're on a different frequency than most people your age. You have goals you're focused on, and you know, most people your age, their goals are different if they even have goals. And I'm like, you've got to get on your own and in a better environment,
massive,
that will rest, comfort, and uplift you. And we were able to achieve that.
Yeah, we did.
Thank you.
It changed my life.
Yeah.
I don't
really
remember. Did she do human design charts on all of us?
Yeah, you and I were very similar.
But am I a cave?
No, yours was a cave. You and I were both manifesting generators.
Yes.
And then we also had the same profile, which like one in every like 1,000 people have the same profile, and you and I had the same one. I know. And you, me, Pooj were all man gens, and she was like, "Oh, you guys get shit done." And we were like, "Yeah, we do actually."
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was, I don't remember what your environment was, but I remember reading that.
I think I would remember cave though.
Yeah, I think so too. But mine, I was like, whoa. Because I think the other part of it too, why it was weird to me is I always thought I was the person who needed people. And I do still need people, but like, I was like, I never want to live alone.
I thought the same thing. Yeah.
And I was like, wait
and now
a second.
my alone time is everything.
Everything.
Yeah. But again, I learned that in my 40s. Yeah. You're learning that in your 20s.
I know. Which I'm so grateful for. It's so cool.
But that's why, hold up. That's why shut up, honey. Were you about to criticize me?
No.
So rude. My Heal Squad will come for you. But Heal Squad, this is why I think this show is so special. It's because we get to learn all of these things earlier. So I know there are a lot of younger listeners in here. And even like when Elaine came in for that temporary stint to work with us, I said the one thing, or there are 3 things I want you to do. 1, keep listening to the show. Make it your accountability partner so you can stay on a good, healthy track. 2, make sure you get your sleep at night. And 3, make sure you're eating as well as you can so that you're feeding your vehicle well, you're resting it, and then, you know, you're continuously adding tools into your tool belt for you to keep getting better. Because anyone who listens to this is either going to get better and start reversing damage, or you're going to prevent damage. So you had already had some damage already health-wise. And so we were able to fix that, reverse some of it. But then also you applied so many things, so many lessons that are giving you light years or bringing you light years ahead of so many people. So if you're listening to this right now, share this episode with the young people in your life. Share this with your friends in your life, your grandmothers, your mothers, all ages. It doesn't matter. This is why I love what we get to do here, because we all can get better and we're doing it together, and it's
amazing. It's amazing. And I do really think the accountability partner thing with the show is so beautiful, because whether it's you or whether it was like one of our listeners DMing me like, have you started Dr. Joe? I was like, nope. But it's so cool. It's such a unique and really beautiful community that you've built, Maria. And I'm just like, I will still be joining the Heal Events Monthly if you allow me, because it's like, God,
we'll give you a free membership.
Thank you. But I can't even express like how beautiful truly of a community you've built. So I'm really grateful to be, have been a part of it and continue to be.
Thank you.
So,
well, thank you for helping to build.
Always. My people. Okay, I have a few more things. And I feel like I could go on for like ever and ever. I actually have, okay, hold on. Let me just go. This one was really fun and it's more aesthetic. Jamie O'Banion, Beauty Bio, when she taught us that you have to damage your skin, like twice a week to induce like collagen production. And that's why she created her little microneedling tool.
No, I haven't. And I haven't damaged my skin enough. I keep forgetting.
I honestly
it's sitting on my table.
I saw it the other day. You use it, Maria. I'm telling you, I think that in combination with the cilantro and sleep and water and a lot of things, but like I see a glow in my skin when I use that. I'm like, wow.
Okay.
So big game changer. Zach Bush, he talked a lot about, making your microbiome diverse. So I use his Ione biome every day. I feel like I have better movements because of it. So thank you, Zach Bush. Kelly Ellis teaching us about how plants.
Oh, by the way, don't buy it on Amazon.
Oh, good to know.
I bought my Ion Gut Support on
Yeah.
Amazon and it tasted like dirt.
Oh.
And it wasn't expired. So I'd love to ask his
website.
team. You have a contact.
Yeah.
We should probably reach out because I bought this whole bottle and didn't
good to know.
wasn't good.
Yeah, we'll
And
reach
then they
out.
wouldn't return it.
Oh,
And I was like, well, that's not cool.
Amazon wouldn't?
Yeah.
Oh, bummy. Yeah, we will
buy his
Mary
gut
will be
support
hearing from
him.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so good. Kelly Ellis talking about how, plants in your home really do make you happier
And healthier.
and healthier. That's right. The snake plant, I forgot about that, purifies your air. So when I moved, added a lot of plants. And first of all, I feel like I'm taking care of something because when they start to die, I'm like, oh, crap. So that's one thing that I like because I'm not just taking care of myself. It's also a plant. Purifying my air and making me happier. So loved that. And this was my last one that I've implemented. Becky Reed. She was that director of
the Christmas movie.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Called? Kev, do you remember?
It was so
It was
good.
Right before Christmas.
Yeah,
Fight
the
before
narcissist
Christmas.
guy. That was crazy. So her episode was really cool because she, we thought we were going to talk a lot about the movie, but she gave us a really great tool, Morning Pages, which comes from Julia Cameron, I believe, who wrote The Artist's Way. And it's basically, it was built for artists and just brain dumping in the morning, but I think everyone should do it. You wake up and you just, no matter what's in your brain, you just dump onto 3 pages. For me, the mornings are really hard, so I do it at night, and it's honestly changed my life. I haven't missed a day in.
Really?
Yeah, every night I journal.
Wow.
Every single night, and
God, I'm so lazy.
oh,
I hate
game changing
writing.
See, I love it.
Oh my God. I know even just the process.
Oh yeah,
I can't read my own writing, so that's part of the problem.
but you don't have to read it.
Okay.
Try it. And maybe it will be good for you in the morning. Like you can sit by your little altar and do it. But for me, nighttime, because my brain does not shut off at night.
Yeah.
Starts revving right back up. And so it's really helped me. I used to lay there and just be like, oh God, please stop, brain. And now the process of writing every night has.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I pray and I think that helps me.
Yeah.
So like I have my whole process, take off the makeup, take the supplements, shut the curtains, do the whole scam. And then I go and I pray. And part of my prayers is my gratitude list.
Yeah.
So who said, Tony Robbins says you can't be grateful and fearful at the same time. So your mind is racing with a lot of fearful thoughts.
Yep.
Didn't do this. I couldn't get that. Blah, blah, blah. So ending the night with a gratitude list and with my prayers, I've seen help me just kind of set the tone to go to bed and not think about anything else.
That's great. So you're already kind of doing it.
Yeah.
Like it's just a different way. But I think, having some sort of intentional evening practice, whether it's what Maria does or what I do, has really, and being consistent. You've taught me that too, even with my methyl blue. I didn't take it this morning. Dang it. I know. It's so good the last 5 days.
I didn't either.
Oh no.
Oh my God, because my supplements, I haven't made the new bags. So I've been piecemealing it.
Yeah.
Also, I have to wait till after, I have
So many
my
things.
tea. So I'm going to do it right after this.
There you go.
Thank you
I'll
for
do
the
it when I get
reminder.
home. But yeah, it's the consistency. That's when you start really noticing change. And I think that's one thing, honestly, this show has taught me. I'm like the most impatient person. Thank you, Elaine, would always tell me how impatient I was. I was like, okay, Elaine? She's like, you and Kevin are both very impatient. And I was like, okay. I was like, you know what? But it's true. I'm like, I do one thing and I want there to be like instant gratification. And it just doesn't work that way. So,
Well, we're trained now with instant gratification.
Yes.
In social media and in life. So
Right. So I think
it's hard.
it is hard, but being, consistent with all of these things. And like I said, this was helpful for me too. And I'm going to keep this up because there are things that I know are going to pop up and into my brain and I'll have to call into the show. Be like, wait, you guys, I forgot about this. I mean, there's so many things. I missed this. Diane Gray, music helps you when you're grieving. Like just so many simple, amazing things. And Kevin, as you always say this, Kev, like every show, or Maria even stops people now. You're like, oh yeah, whoa. Because these guests, it's like every word that comes out of their mouth is something, but that's just their life. So they kind of, it's on to the next. And you're like, no, that was an insane aha moment too. So each one of these shows have so many incredible like tools, tips, takeaway, like even from what I was saying at the beginning, maybe it's a tangible thing. You can put Himalayan salt in your water, or it's a relationship thing or a finance thing, like so many things. Also, I have started saving because of the show. And well, that was more you. So every week, I don't even see it. Some goes into my savings. And I looked at it last night and I was like, oh, wow, okay, that kind of grew.
Yeah.
Hey now.
Mom and dad had different roles in your life.
Yeah, I was like, don't bother saving. No, I'll always bill you over.
I know.
Yeah.
Dad's got you. Don't worry.
I always
Dad's
teach
cushion.
everybody in my life to save and invest. And then I teach them about health. And then I think those are kind of my big categories.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very big on, again, the likes, the popularity. When socialing, you want to obviously look your glam best. But I'd say once, Kelsey, would you say once every 2 weeks, you do no makeup, and maybe even some grieving to show relatability, authenticity, right?
Yeah, we're talking about posting.
Talking about my takeaways. You did what? Savings and wellness, whatever you did. But then I went over like the likes and popularity, right?
Key.
And then also, with your posts, maybe less is more. Those cryptic posts that the Gen Z.
No one's loving it anymore. No one likes the cryptic.
Oh, wait, what?
No, we're
breaking news.
We're about pouring guts out now.
Pouring guts out or chaos. Just a random dump, no caption, whatever.
Love it.
That's it.
Thank you.
That's
so I'm writing
Don't
that
need to
down.
explain it.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, so important. Wow.
I never cared about being in the popular group, and so it's so hard for me when I see these things where it's like, now it's like, oh my God, the popular kids are doing, Kelsey, my favorite was Kelsey and Kevin took their RGF picture the other day. I'm taking it. I get no photo credit, by the way.
Oh, so
thanks,
sorry.
guys.
My bad.
And Kelsey's eyes were closed. I go, Kelsey, what are you doing? She's like, no, this is the new thing. I'm like, oh my God. The queens are all selfieing with their, their peace sign and their eyes closed. I'm like, I always went the opposite way, just because it annoyed me so much.
I know.
Maria, the eyes closed, the duck lips. It's like the spiritual essence of being a queen has taken you.
Right.
So it's no longer outward, it's more inward.
It's inward.
You're right. You're inwardly saying, I'm a queen. You're not telling the world I'm a
right.
You know you're a queen.
Oh my God.
So anyway.
It's so funny.
Natasha, just please make a note, delete that part about Maria
not wanting to be popular.
We don't need that getting out there.
Are you being serious?
No, he's not.
Yeah. Maria, that's like sacrilege today.
I can't even.
How dare you?
Ava Max was
You
playing.
want to get us killed?
I guess canceled.
Yeah.
Ava Max was playing at the grocery store yesterday.
What?
And I was singing along.
Oh, I think she was performing there.
No, that would be way cooler.
That's so funny.
No.
Natasha, do you see what you have to look forward to?
So much fun.
So much. No, I do want to say it's funny. I actually wore a waterproof mascara because I thought I was going to cry, but then I'm also like not crying because I'm not really leaving.
No.
I know.
Like,
I know. That's why it's so weird with you because I cried when Pooja left.
Yeah.
I always cry because I always feel like
too.
Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz leaving, like her friends or whatever. I always get super emotional, and a little bit's happening right now thinking about it. But at the same time, I know you're going to be here doing RGF. I know you're always going to be around.
Always.
We have Kelsey and I have multiple scams.
And then you have other scams that we're going to do.
Yeah. So much.
So
I also want to say, going back to the crying thing too, that was something that you also really taught me. I have such a heart. I'm also all water, a little bit of fire. But I cry all the time, but I have really hard time like expressing vulnerability. And I think it was just so much of it comes from growing up. No one would let me. And it was like, oh, you're crying. Stop crying. And, and so that like really imprinted on me. Then also so many of my jobs, right? It was like, I couldn't. It was just, so anyways, I just want to say I'm grateful for you because you are such like an beautifully like outwardly vulnerable person. And I know there were times where you're like, okay, Socio, why aren't you crying? Like, why? But like you made it was like so far the other way that you were like, you should be feeling like, why, and so, and vulnerability. I mean, Lewis House told us the other week, like, that's the key. Like being vulnerable is like the most powerful, beautiful, courageous thing. So
I also
I
think,
say thank you for that.
Because I never thought of myself as vulnerable,
Very,
which is funny.
you are very vulnerable.
very vulnerable.
Really?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
you seem to lack, I think we all do, but your self-awareness, Maria, is you don't understand sometimes, an injustice that's been perpetuated on you. You don't really understand that sometimes.
That's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
no.
thought it's a good thing because being impervious to it is like,
I don't think that's impervious.
no, I'm not impervious because I
No,
feel
I
it,
think
but I
that
just
you
don't want to
needed.
feel
I
it.
think,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
I feel
it's-
it, but I don't want to feel it.
Yeah.
it's for a chat show to discuss, but you need a degree of it. We've talked about this. I have, Ida Kendall and people I work with say that's where the tumors come from. Is when you don't
Acknowledge.
Yes.
Yeah.
To a degree,
Don't dwell.
she said especially younger people have much more sophisticated nervous systems, much more aware. Again, this is just from Ida. She's saying, the feminine brain is a lot different. Sometimes the masculine brain can compartmentalize more.
I'm a good compartmentalizer.
Well, that's the thing, right?
You had to.
Yes, because you had to survive. But at the same time, if some of those things were addressed in a healthy way, I'm at least, again, from the regular guy perspective, that you wouldn't tolerate those things as you would see them coming and be like, wait, this isn't right. And you would be setting up the right boundaries. And, whereas kind of just don't think about it onto the next, don't think about it onto the next. I think it catches up to you. And so yes, you're very vulnerable, but you're also sometimes you really don't understand when there's been an injustice that's really a vast injustice that's taken place with you and sometimes even your loved ones. And you don't get it. And I'm like, wait, stop. Wait, that is not right. That's messed up that happened. And it doesn't mean we have to take revenge or do anything, but man, we got to talk about this. And there is a right and wrong here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, and with you too, Kelsey, but Kelsey, because you're younger, I can talk and really get you to listen because I see things with you and I say, oh my God, Kelsey, this is your childhood.
Yeah.
That's what this is, it's really sad that I know. I see sometimes Kelsey, her eyes water up, her mouth gets very tense.
And then I numb out and say, okay.
Yeah, because she was not allowed to have a voice, and not so much that they prevented it, but they just expected Kelsey to be the one to lift everyone up. And by the way, that's why I get where Kelsey now is a little bit more introverted, because everyone wants to be with Kelsey. That's never a problem, right? Friends, it's always going to be friends.
Yeah.
But she needs to protect for herself, but I think in her family too, she's this beacon of light. Everyone,
they all need
their
it.
iPhone.
They all need her light.
Yeah.
And then when she's like, no, I want to cry. It's like, no,
you can't.
we can't. Yeah. And so, but again, with that awareness, and by the way, they had their traumas, which why they were, and not all of it was bad, obviously, because you're an amazing human being, but it's just something you go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's little Kelsey who didn't get a chance to cry or to be upset or to get her way, what she wanted.
Yeah.
So, and again, we've talked about certain rights and wrongs in your life too. Same thing. I'm like, no, that's actually not right.
Not okay.
That's very unjust. That decision that was made in your life was wrong. That's unfair. And you shouldn't, you should know that. So you won't tolerate that in the future.
Yeah.
So anyway, we all have a long way to go. I would like
Any
to
final words as we wrap the show, honey?
I have to go.
I have to pee.
Okay.
Really badly.
I want to say one more thing though. Actually, while you were talking, I was thinking about this too. I also want to say thank you for allowing me to, knowing that I love hosting and that's what I, part of what I want to do, you allowing me to host with you. Even listening back to some of those early episodes, I can't. I've grown so much, but thanks to both of you and Kev, you allowing me to do RGF with you and you being okay, Maria, with me hosting with you, but then also Kev and I covering for you. That was, that's a lot to big.
That was heavy.
It was a lot, but it was a lot for you to also be I trust you. And you didn't, you and I knew each other, but I was a young little host. So anyways, I'm just so grateful and I've grown so like, so I'm literally, I told you this when we first were having a conversation about me leaving. I'm like, I'm a completely different person today than I was when I started with you guys. Like completely different, like career, like, but everything. So I'm just really grateful.
Well, we're grateful for you and grateful for everything that you did and grateful that you appreciate it, because sometimes I feel like we can be annoying. I've had to say it, like, Kelsey, if I'm annoying you with the health stuff, just tell me I'll stop.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah,
You're
I
like,
do.
no. And I was like, okay, because I know I can be annoying because I'm going to be up your butt because I care. But at the same time, you know, you can tell me to stop and I wouldn't be offended. But I'm grateful that you've been on this journey. We went through a lot of stuff together. COVID, my parents, my mom. So
Thanksgiving on our picnic table.
Our very sad little Thanksgiving, which we didn't have. It wasn't sad for us, but from the outside, it was a Charlie Brown Christmas.
Yeah.
We were sitting on a picnic table in an empty house, wondering if my mom and dad were going to live or not. And the Chicklisses brought us over Thanksgiving dinner. But we've been through a lot, and you really, really took this show on your shoulders, and you cared about it so much. And you were one of a kind because you never looked at hours, you never looked at the clock, you never thought this was something that you weren't supposed to do. Your attention was 100% here. I never had to worry that you were 20 other places and thinking about, 18 side hustles. And so I'm so grateful that you cared so much in everything that you did and helped build. I mean, even the website would have never happened.
It's so cool to look at.
And you brought great people in too, like Priscilla, Priscilla and her team, Gabby and everybody at Forward Female. So, it's been a really great journey, and I'm very excited. Everyone's always gone on and done great things. I think you're going to be the one that does the greatest.
Thank you. Well, I'm excited to keep watching it grow. Honestly, like I feel like you and I always said it was like, oh, we're getting, but I mean, everything that you've gone through this year, and like you've just really exploded like as an expert. And that's, we've always talked about like we need to paint you more as that. And I think that like you really have finally like stepped into that and acknowledged that that's what you are. And even like the last like couple of months, and like I'm so excited to watch the show, you and the show keep growing, and I'm excited to keep listening too. Like I feel like it will be fun to be like, oh, who's the guest on today? Because I don't have a part in it, which is sad, but also like cool. So I'm excited to keep growing and watch you guys keep growing, and also excited to still be on for RGF.
Yeah. Yes, she's still in RGF. And RGF still, it hangs by a thread, guys.
Yeah,
there have been some cancellation, notices, some bad behavior. I've had to send some slips out.
Yeah.
I did get a lot of positive reviews in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, did you?
People saying, please don't cancel it. We love it.
Reviews. Well, that's good. You had a beautiful review the other day too, Maria, on Apple Podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
We should hold on.
Well, while you look that up, let me say, Kelsey,
Go ahead.
obviously you and I are going to continue to work together on many different things, but I think that it's just, I don't know, you just give me so hope for the young generation, because when COVID happened and everybody, all generations, took a snow day, you and very few other people I know actually went the other way and worked harder. And it will pay off for you. It already is, but it'll pay off even more. And it's not going to be that way for the people who snow dated, because not that they fell behind that time. You just kind of get out of shape mentally and in your formative years. And my experience, you don't recover whole other things, but bringing it back to you, the fact that you never quit, you never gave up. You were willing to move to Connecticut, to be in a basement, then to help take care of Maria's mother, to take care of Winnie, take care of the dogs, then co-host the show with me, book. I mean, you and I,
you held it down.
we were going 4 to 5. I mean, how many interviews were we doing a week?
So many.
It was crazy.
Half from the car when the Wi-Fi would go out.
Yeah.
The Dunkin' parking lot.
And and then the fact that you were such a great big sister to our interns.
Oh.
I mean, they love you, and we have, Pooja came through that system, Lane came through that system, but we have several interns that we still work with.
Mhm.
And you were the one who nurtured that. And I see so many great things ahead of you, but I also do just want to just say I just so appreciate, my God, so many things about you, and especially the fact that you never gave up. And again, especially today where so many people had a chance to give up, so many people I think were raised to give up,
Mhm.
and you didn't. And so think of that tough upbringing, I know, but see, that was the good part of it, because you were taught, like, no, I got to keep trying.
Yeah.
And I got to keep trying to figure it out. And you did. And I can't say enough. And I think to Maria's point as well, you're also in a generation under you that it's almost this childlike view of the world where it's all about me. As you're a kid, you think it's all about you. And then you get older and you realize, guess what? But I think a lot of us in this country are in that space of me, me, me. And you never were like, oh, how come I'm not a bigger influencer, or why don't I have my own podcast, or why don't, instead of focusing on what you didn't have, you focus on what you did have, you made the most of it. And again, just such kudos to you. And I know it's not a short-term play, but in the marathon of life, it pays off. And so, yeah, and you always have a home here forever.
Thank you.
You know that in not just our professional life, but our personal life as well. But yeah, I can't say enough.
Oh, I will be coming over and taking that little baby for adventures.
What about this?
But
Well,
you're really
yeah, that
gonna
baby
need-
too.
Winnie's gonna
She
need
really
you.
is gonna.
We're
need
gonna have
you.
sleepovers still all the time.
Yeah, Winnie's gonna really, really have the roughest time without you here every single day, once a week.
No, she's not gonna like
Isn't
that.
gonna be enough for
No,
her.
she'll be mad at me.
But we're gonna wrap up now.
Ray, I want to read you this one review that I sent you. It was so beautiful. This is from PV Ruti. It says, 5 stars, highly recommend. She's what we all need to realize at the end of the day. She, aka you, what's essential in life and how strong you are to steer this role as a woman. Her integrity, her strength, her composure to remain first class in an era and industry with very few females. I continue to strive to be better and withstand difficult times, finding strength and classiness.
Wow.
Yeah, thought that was really special.
Aw, that is really
Asterisk.
special.
Oh my, Kelsey's so special that on her show on the last day, she still makes it about you. I love you, Kelsey. You're
I love you
amazing.
guys.
And
Thank
I
you,
can't wait
Queen.
for what's next that,
Love you
hopefully
both.
I'll be part of.
You will be. You both will be. Can't get rid of me.
Soft smile, peace signs to everyone.
To everyone.
Love you, Queen.
Bye, bees.
Bye, everyone.
This podcast and all related content published or distributed by or on behalf of Maria Menounos or Maria-menounos.com is for informational purposes only and may include information that is general in nature and that is not specific to you. Any information or opinions expressed or contained herein are not intended to serve as or replace medical advice, nor to diagnose, prescribe, or treat any disease, condition, illness, or injury, and you should consult the healthcare professional of your choice regarding all matters concerning your health, including before beginning any exercise, weight loss, or healthcare program. If you have or suspect you may have a healthcare emergency, please contact a qualified healthcare professional for treatment. Any information or opinions provided by a guest expert or host featured within website or on company's podcast are their own, not those of Maria Menounos or the company. Accordingly, Maria Menounos and the company cannot be responsible for any results or consequences or actions you may take based on information or opinions.